Hello and welcome to Metal Vice, a podcast where we talk about all things music.
Well, the things we care about.
That's right, which is mainly metal music and live music. I'm your host, Brian, joining the other host,
Karen.
And for this episode, we are talking about the Struck Dead Tour, the Trivium Struck Dead Tour, with Heriot and Jinjer as openers. Going over the logistics real quick for this. Well, I guess not real quick. This is a little conversation we'll have here, I guess. First off, with the tour name. This is the only time I think I've ever seen this, but a few weeks or a month or two before the tour actually started, we're on the Trivium email list and whatnot. So we get the newsletters and all that kind of shit. I think that's where I saw that, but they basically said, hey, we have our new EP out, the Struck Dead EP. And I think that's what it's called. And we're changing the name of our tour to coincide with the name of the new EP. The original tour name was Ascend Above the Ashes, which is kind of cool because the Trivium was on tour earlier this year that we went to go see back in April, I want to say. It was Easter weekend, wasn't it?
St. Louis, yeah, it was Easter weekend. Whatever
St. Louis,
weekend that is.
Which was them, Bullet for My Valentine, August Burns Red, and Bleed From Within. Super fucking awesome show. We did a episode on that. Tickets for that, real quick, so we're going to talk about that, were $64.50 with $15.80 in fees. And that was the Poisoned Ascendancy tour because Bullet for My Valentine and Trivium are both celebrating 20-year anniversaries for that tour, playing those albums in full. So I really thought that was kind of cool that this new tour with Trivium was sort of paying homage to that a little bit with Rise Above the Ascendancy or something like that. What was the original name? I have that written down. Ascend Above the Abyss, or goddamn, Ascend Above the Ashes.
So using the word ascend.
Yeah, so I liked how they did that, and we're moving past this album now. Yeah. So that was kind of cool. When that first title came out, I was like, shit, are they going to tour on that album again and play that album in full? I really, really was hoping they wouldn't. Not because I didn't like it. It was fun to do.
Yeah, but we already saw it.
But I saw it. I don't need to see it again. So I was sort of a little bit taking a gamble on that, but I was like, no, they're not going to do that. The ad for it was the same sort of art for the EP that came out, I think.
Oh, okay.
So I was like, fuck it. I think it's going to be different. So we got tickets, plus it's Jinjer. We've loved Jinjer. So yeah, let's go check this out. So we did. We went up to Milwaukee to see this at the Rave.
Yep. They were also in Gary, Indiana at the Hard Rock.
Yes.
I think Friday night. We saw it on Saturday night. And I remember having the conversation well, do you want to go to Gary or do you want to go to Milwaukee? And it was like, I would prefer Milwaukee over the Hard Rock. The Hard Rock's just not my favorite venue or casino.
Much quicker to get to for us, for sure.
Yeah, it is.
Like a 30-minute drive at most.
Yeah, probably, yeah.
So, yeah, I remember that conversation as well, going back and forth, which one are we going to go to? I was fine with either one. I did want to see this tour. Like I said, I was a little hesitant because of the name and whatnot, and hopefully not playing that album in full. But, yeah, we did land on Milwaukee because we love Milwaukee. The Rave's fucking awesome. And we had, a free hotel night to use.
Yeah,
so,
we did.
That helps cut down the cost. We were going to stop at Costco and IKEA on the way home to get more shelving for our record collection.
Yeah.
So
maybe we'll put a video up on Instagram of that or something.
Yeah, we could do that.
Or reorganizing the records or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
As a short or something. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But so it just made sense then to go to Milwaukee for this show. With that in mind, ticket prices for this were $52. No fees, no tax, just $52 straight. And that's because when we were at the Rave earlier in the year at whatever show we were at, we just went up to the box office and bought tickets at the box office. And if you bought these online, though, because we did do that. We went online, went through the checkout process, didn't check out or pay, but I wanted to see what the price difference would be because I think there's supposed to be a price difference there. And there was. So if you went online and bought these online, it was $60.64 with $7.19 in fees. So close to what it was for that show in St. Louis.
Yeah, I see. I get where you're coming from.
Yeah, that's why I said those numbers earlier. But because we went to the box office, we ended up saving I don't know, a little bit of money there. $10 or so, $10-15.
But compared to the show in St. Louis, this would be more expensive because we're getting one less band.
Sure. Technically, yes. You are getting one less
per
band.
This is more expensive.
Sure. You are getting that. Doing that, I guess. But whatever.
But this show had 2 foreign bands where the St. Louis show only had one.
Sure. You want to break it?
Any more caveats that I need to give?
I don't know. Those aren't the numbers I track, but I guess I could do that in my spreadsheet.
How many foreign bands we see? How
where
many
the bands
domestic
are
bands?
from. Yeah, I can track all that information in
No,
there. I guess it's pretty easy.
No, let's not do that.
Anywho, I also want to bring up the price here real quick about going to the box office. We did buy 2 tickets at the box office earlier this year for Ailstorm and Powerwolf.
Yeah, 2 sets of tickets. Yeah.
And like, I don't know what happened. Those ones we ended up paying more than we would have if we bought online. We even called and asked them like, hey, this doesn't seem quite right. I've got the numbers somewhere. I don't know if I'm going to bring it up. We didn't end up going to those shows. Other life shit happened and we were unable to make it to those shows. But whatever. Typically going to the box office is cheaper. So when we were here at Trivium, we also went to the box office to buy tickets for another show at the Rave. And when we went to the box office, well, first off, we saw members of Repentance in front of us.
Yeah, they were there. Yeah.
They had their name on the list, so they were getting their tickets. That was fucking awesome. I assume they had their name on the list.
I think so, because they were backstage with Trivium. So,
yeah. So that was really cool. Got a fist bump from them and sort of just said hey and whatnot. But yeah, then we went up and said, hey, we'd like to get tickets for a show coming up. And she's like, yeah, we aren't selling tickets tonight because we have 4 stages going. And it's just, there's too much going on that we can't do that. A little bit of a lame excuse. You probably could have, there was nobody in line around us.
The shows weren't starting for another hour.
You could have taken a little bit of time to get us out. But the cool thing here that we haven't really mentioned yet, that all 4 stages of the Rave were going on at once for 4 different shows.
We have personally never been there for 4 stages in one night, sort of thing.
Only 2.
2 stages. Well, 3 if you count Milwaukee Metal Fest.
I was going to put that caveat too. Yeah.
But 2 stages is what we've been to before, where they've had 2 concerts going at one time. Sorry, did you have more comments?
No.
Okay. The logistics of it, I thought, ran fairly well, at least for when we got there, which we got there early.
We were in the ballroom, so we were in the biggest stage. We did get there early. I can't remember exactly what time we got there.
Yeah, I don't know what time, but doors were open, but only for a few minutes. And we got there early because we did want to buy those tickets for the show for next year. But for logistics, they were the shows were staggered. I believe I looked at the start times and they were staggered by 30 minutes.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So it was the first, who was it? Weezer? The Wreck was the first line that was going in. So when we walked up, a guy asked, what show are you here to see? We said Trivium, and he was like, oh, you should have said The Wreck. They're going in now. Just kind of fucking with us.
Yeah. Because there was a group in front of us as well that walked in, and he asked them the same. Like, oh, we're here for The Wreck. He's like, oh, yeah, go ahead and get in line. And then we showed up maybe 5-10 minutes after doors opened, and he asked us, we're like, yeah, Trivium, as you said. And he was like, oh, shit, you should have said The Wreck.
Yeah.
And then I was like, how about The Wreck? He's like, no, your line's down there, bud.
Yeah, so they had 4 separate lines going. So we were kind of across the road on the side of the parking lot, and then there was 2 other lines on the side of the parking lot for whatever. I don't know the other 2 shows. But I thought that was, at least when we got there, logistically, it was pretty well done. It's you stand in your line, they will bring you forward. It was okay weather. By that point, it wasn't chilly yet.
Yeah.
And no rain or anything like that. So, it kind of worked out. And then once we got in, we did stop at the box office first, but otherwise, it was if you were there for The Wreck, they would send you to the basement. We were in the ballroom, so then we went towards the stairs. We went upstairs and then went towards the stairs, and they were scanning. Right there, I noticed that they had a rope down the middle, and I'm assuming that was for when they start letting in what we call the second stage, which is the second floor stage.
I think technically it's called the Rave 2.
The Rave 2, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. We've always called it the second stage since Milwaukee Metal Fest.
It's the second largest stage. Yeah.
So I'm assuming that depending on what concert you're going to, if you're going to Trivium, you would get in the right-hand side. If you're going to the other concert, you would get in the left-hand side. And then for the bar stage, they had the doors open on the side closest to the parking lot door, or not the parking lot, it used to be a parking lot, but the
beer garden
doors. So I think that's how they logistically were doing it. Now, maybe as the night went on and people were just funneling in without the lines, maybe it got a little bit more confusing or a little bit more, jostled around or anything. But for what I saw, they had it fairly controlled.
Yeah, especially considering when you first walk in, you go through that side door at the Rave and you go down that little rampway and you sort of go through the French doors and whatnot. And if you go left, you're at the basement stage.
Yep.
There's restrooms over there. That's at Milwaukee Metal Fest. That's where the merch is and all of that. But yeah, that's the basement stage. That used to be the bowling alley, right?
Yes. Yep.
And so, like, I'm assuming if you went to that show, they'd just like go that way. But yeah, we ended up going right, which went up those stairs, as you said, to the box office. I do remember that little split as well. I came down at one point through the night. I can't remember when. And I went down the stairs from the ballroom down the stairs to that little area where the bar stage is and the second stage, because I think they had different beer down there. They typically have different beer in that little
the little bar. Yeah, there's
by,
an actual, like, I don't want to say actual bar, but it's kind of like a sports bar. They have some TVs up, and it's like an open room and stuff that has bar tables and stuff like that.
And I think I asked the bartender, like, hey, do you have any different IPAs? Like, if you want IPAs, you have to go down to that bar and get them there. So I walked down and there was somebody, a worker, standing there checking tickets and whatnot. And I asked them, like, hey, can I go to the bar and come back? And she's like, once you leave, there's no re-entry. And I was like, oh, shit, okay. Thinking about it, I don't know if she meant, like, if she thought I meant, like, leave the venue. Or if I meant, can I just walk right there real quick, buy booze from you all, and then walk right back up these stairs? Like, that's really all I want to do. Like, take 10 feet to walk this way.
Yeah.
So...
Oh, sorry.
I was just going to say, I don't know. Again, because that does flow really well into the Rave 2 or the second stage.
That's what I was going to say is, like, yes, you're saying you were literally going to go there to see if they had the beer that you like at that bar. But in her mind, she could be thinking that you were trying to go into the back of that venue to see the other show.
Right, which is fair. So whatever. I didn't go. I didn't get the beers I wanted, blah, blah, whatever. I go upstairs and get another beer up there. Whatever. It's fine. But yeah, it was really, really cool. The logistics of it all, getting everybody set up, like you said, is really cool to see. I do love seeing and like watching that kind of shit. So that was really cool for me. And then, yeah, we just sort of made our way up to the ballroom, which, you know, just below the ballroom is that little area where there's a bar, there's the restrooms down there, and that's where merch is always at as well. Some similar setup to how the Rave is always set up for ballroom shows. But yeah, like we said, really, really, really cool to see all four stages getting used in one night.
Yeah, I was really happy about that because with the Live Nation venue coming to Milwaukee, it's kind of like, I hope the Rave keeps everything that they have. So seeing that 4 shows were going in one night, it's like, okay, they still got it, sort of thing. So
we'll see. Once it opens, we'll see what actually happens. I'm hesitant and a little worried, just because, well, I don't know. The shit we go see is metal, so I could definitely see a lot of metal bands going there still.
Yeah, to the Rave. Yeah.
And I don't know. I hope the Rave is good. I mean, here in Chicago, we have some independent venues as well.
We do.
I think there's enough of a fan base and, you know, music goers between Chicago and Milwaukee that Milwaukee can possibly support both of these venues.
Yeah.
There really isn't another second small venue in Milwaukee that I can think of like this. You know, you have Fiserv Forum. I guess you have all those theaters as well.
Yeah, all the theaters. And then there's the small venue that we've never been to out by the
X-Ray Arcade.
X-Ray Arcade out by the airport, but that's not in Milwaukee proper.
Yeah.
So
I guess what I'm thinking is, like, you know, here we have the Salt Shed, you have Radius,
yeah, we have so
you
many.
have Aragon, you have a Riviera, House of Blues. There's like Metro. There's so many like venues around that I can't think of Milwaukee having all that, but I completely forgot about the theaters. We've never seen a show at those theaters. It'd be kind of cool to see one sometime.
Yeah, I think sometime we'll check one out. So
all this to say, like, I really hope the Rave is okay once this new venue opens. I'm kind of not pissed, but it's kind of shitty that they are opening it. I just, you know, fuck Live Nation basically.
Yeah,
so,
pretty much.
Anywho,
however, next year we might be doing an episode about
there is a show up there
because that's where it's going to be. In that, I don't think they're here in Chicago.
They are.
Oh, are they?
We are going up to Milwaukee the night that they are playing.
Oh, yeah. Because we have another
Sabaton
show up there. Yeah, we have another show up there. Yep.
The next night, I think, is Hogfest, which is 3 Days Grace, and so we're taking the train up the day before, which is Sabaton, and then like 2 weeks later, we're back up there for something else. I can't remember what.
Journey and Orbit Culture.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Journey and Orbit Culture, the shows we were going to go try to see.
So we're living in Milwaukee.
for 1 month next
in
year.
March.
But yeah, anyway, let's get back to Trivium, Jinjer, and Heriot. I guess do we just want to dive right into Heriot?
Yeah, that's fine.
All right, why don't you read off their set list for us? And
Okay.
this isn't from that show, it's from the Lancaster PA show they played. I'm assuming it's very similar.
Yeah, I'm sure it's about the same. So they played Foul Void, Siege Lord, Demure, Commander of Pain, Mourn, At the Fortress Gate.
I thought they were good. Good energy. I thought the sound was fine. I thought they sounded good. I could really get into them, I feel like, but for whatever reason, I wasn't feeling it
Oh,
this
really?
night. And I had no reason to like not like them. I was like, meh. I'm not really in this right now. I'm not in the mood for this right now.
Maybe you were just like, let's get to Jinjer and Trivium and not necessarily like, or did you have the same feeling all night?
I had the same feeling for Jinjer too.
Oh, shit.
I was really down on Jinjer for some reason. I love fucking Jinjer. Like they're so good. I love their shit. But for some reason, I was the same way for their set where I was like, fuck, I'm not feeling this tonight. I don't know why.
Oh, interesting.
It did turn around for Trivium, so I'm happy about that. But for these two first sets, I was like, whatever. Like, let's just, I don't know. And again, I liked the music. I remember thinking like it was good music. It was just, I wasn't in the mood for some reason. Which really sucks because again, I thought they put on a good show. I thought they sounded good. It wasn't for me that night.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. Heriot is a metalcore band from Britain, or from England, Britain. I don't know the difference. But with a female lead who does clean and harsh vocals, as well as I believe the bassist does harsh vocals as well, if I remember right. I'm just trying to remember the stage setups, but so much energy from them.
It helps that they're like, 20? Teenagers. They're fucking young.
Yeah, they were really young. I think that's going to get worse and worse and worse as we get older.
Yeah, it's definitely going to get worse. As I get older, I'm going to get more frustrated and angry at the youths.
The youths.
The youths.
They did mention that this is their first U.S. tour, or first time being in the U.S., first time ever being at Milwaukee, obviously, if it's their first U.S. tour. I thought that they sounded great. There was some people around us that every time they introduced a song, it was like in the growl, like talk or, like vocals. And they would kind of like laugh and like look around and be like, what did they say? Like, and they were older than us. The two guys that I'm talking about were older than us. And in my mind, I'm like, come on, get with the times. Like everything's not just like thrash metal and all that stuff. But I think they were just having a good time about
just
it.
having fun with it. Yeah, for
not
sure.
being like grumpy old men like somebody over here sometimes is. But I really enjoyed it. I did get the core aspect, so then I was kind of wondering if you would be into it or not. But
yeah, I could see myself being into that.
you just weren't that night.
Yeah, and like I'm not really a big metalcore fan to begin with, but there is some metalcore out there that I do enjoy. So
Yeah.
This is definitely probably closer to that. I do enjoy this metalcore over some other shit for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll give them another listen. I definitely check them out again.
Oh, I would check them out.
And hopefully, be in a better mindset for it.
Yeah, I would definitely, like, if we ever go to a show over in England, like at a small bar or
that'd be
something,
fun, yeah.
like if they were there, that would be so awesome.
Yeah, I don't know. I wasn't in it for some reason. And it was the same way with Jinjer. So
That's interesting with Jinjer.
it is.
Yeah.
But why don't you read off their set list for us?
So Jinjer played Duel, Green Serpent, Fast Draw, Hedonist, Teacher, Perennial, Rogue, Someone's Daughter, and they ended with Pisces.
And so I was thinking about this because we did put these on our set list as well. Well, only one because we saw them earlier this year with Baby Metal.
Yeah.
And it's basically the exact same set list.
I was wondering if it was because, like, as they went through, I was like, this almost seems the same as last time.
Teacher, I think, was the only one we added. Yeah, Teacher
Okay.
was the only new song. Nope, and Rogue.
Oh, okay, so two songs.
Two songs. Same stage setup, same overall set outside of two songs. So I don't know if that was like playing with my head a little bit and like being like, I've already seen this show. I don't need to see it again. Let's mix it up a little bit more. I don't know. It was a normal Jinjer set. At least the last time we saw them was, like I said, basically the same set as they had at Baby Metal. We saw them a couple years ago in Tinley Park with Disturbed. I think or was it Breaking Benjamin? I think it was Disturbed.
It was Disturbed and Breaking Benjamin.
Oh, that's right. It was.
Yeah, so they opened, and then it was Breaking Benjamin, and then Disturbed.
Yeah, and I remember loving that set.
Yeah.
And we've seen a few other times. Rockfest, that was a fucking phenomenal set as well. So I don't know what it was, why I wasn't into it. And the fact that they played the same set, like Lamb of God just played the same set on their boat, and I was completely fine seeing that set again. You know what I mean? So I don't know. It was just sort of an off early night for me for sure. The changeover, though, was very long. I do remember being a little frustrated about how long it was taking to get the changeover done. I don't know if I was just frustrated with that or if it truly was.
No,
like
it was a long time.
Long
it was like
changeover.
35 minutes between Heriot and Jinjer, which I got frustrated with as well. Because nothing was happening on the stage. It almost seemed like I don't know if Heriot was supposed to play for like 5 more minutes or something, but still like a 30-minute changeover between the bands seems absolutely long. But sometimes the long changeovers you can see them messing with chords, or they're like fixing something on the drum kit,
technical issues.
Yeah, like something's going on. And this was literally like they were done, and then we stood there for 20 minutes waiting for Jinjer to come out and start. So I don't know. It was interesting, the changeover time, because. It just doesn't normally seem that way. But
I don't know if the fact that there were four stages going on had anything to play with it.
Maybe.
I don't know how that worked.
They had to wait for a time for a certain stagehand to be there or something.
Or dressing room space or something. I don't know how it all works.
That's interesting. I didn't even think about that with the four bands. And I don't know how the dressing rooms work. We've seen the dressing rooms before.
We've seen one of the dressing rooms. The headliner dressing room.
The headliner one,
which is down by the pool. I think there's another dressing room off to the side of the second stage.
Oh, there is, because you could see it when they pulled the thing up, yeah. I don't know. I don't want to say I wasn't into it, but I had a similar. How do I say that? I just had a similar feeling as well of this is the Jinjer show we've seen. And it is kind of even her movements and granted, we see bands that do the same thing at every single show. We know the 3 Days Grace, banter. Right. We know what David's going to do during Disturbed. We know what during Walk With Me in Hell, Randy's going to jump off the drum kit or something. We know these things, and it doesn't bother me that much. But this night I did think oh, she's doing the same movement she did during Baby Metal, or I don't know. It's just.
And to be fair, not everybody went and saw that show.
Exactly.
So this is the first time you might have seen them this year, or maybe ever. So
there was a lot of people that this was their first show. I think they did the whole
oh, did they?
Who's seen us before or whatever, or maybe this is the first show or something like that. I don't know, but I don't want to say I wasn't into it, but it was definitely I didn't mind, because I think that's when we also went and looked at merch, and you did your beer thing that you talked about at the beginning. And
was that when I did all that?
Yeah, it was all during Jinjer.
Okay.
Yeah, so we kind of walked around a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, we normally don't do that during concerts.
We typically don't, but like I said, I wasn't feeling it. And I told you could stay. I was like, I'm gonna go wander. I'm not really into this right now. So
I needed to wander. My shoes were hurting my feet, and so I felt like I just needed to walk. It's so funny because maybe it's old people feet, but if my shoes hurt, if I walk around, they don't hurt.
Oh, really?
But standing still, it hurts.
Interesting. I think I have that every now and then. I guess I don't know. Huh.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, really, really kind of disappointing for me personally, because like I said, I love Jinjer. I think they're fucking awesome. I wasn't vibing with it for some reason, and I don't know. I
feel like maybe part of it is Jinjer had this allure to it the first couple times we saw it, and now it's just kind of like you said, it's the same show that we just saw, or practically the same show that we just saw. So we're kind of used to it, where maybe after a new album, or maybe next year if they tour in the U.S. again, it'll be a little bit different setup or something like that.
So. And so Lamb of God just announced a new tour coming up next year in 2026.
It's gonna be the best show ever.
I saw somebody in the comment of the Lamb of God subreddit where they're I don't think, unless it's a new album, I'm not gonna go check this out. I've already seen them on this sort of leg of their tour, or last year or the year before, some shit like that. So I expect it to be the same set list. So there's not a whole lot there for me. I don't know the other bands, so I'm not gonna check it out. But for me, I'll go check out that show for sure. I love Lamb of God. I'll go see that. So I could see that argument, with Jinjer being like, it's the same thing they've already seen. Let's get some new music, and then I'll go check that out, type thing. Because you're going to tour on the new music.
Yeah,
so,
yeah. And I'm not. For me, it's not necessarily like the new music. It's just change it up a little.
Yeah,
bit.
yeah. For sure.
But I mean, they are a young touring band coming to the U.S. from.
Would you consider them young? Still, like they've been touring for maybe 5, 6, 7 years now.
I would still consider that young. Yeah,
Younger?
for like a touring band. Yeah. Okay. Especially coming from Ukraine to the U.S. and for 3 of those years they couldn't tour.
Yeah.
Because of COVID and conflict. So, I don't know.
Okay.
That's just my own opinion.
No, yeah. That's fair. I guess then let's move on to Trivium.
Yeah, so for Trivium, they played Strife, and that's all we need to talk about. Bye.
I'm very happy they played Strife. It's the first time I've ever heard it live. It's one of my favorite songs. So. Sorry,
I've been thinking about that since they played Strife. I'm like, I am going to literally be like, all we need to talk about is they played Strife, and we're done.
What else did they play, though?
Yeah, so they started with In Waves, Like Light to the Flies, Strife, Into the Mouth of Hell We March, Throws a Paradisian, Until the World Goes Cold, Bury Me With My Screams, A Gunshot to the Head of Trepidation, Struck Dead, Dying in Your Arms, Pull Harder on the Strings of Your Murder, The Heart from Your Hate, Down from the Sky, and they ended with The Sin and the Sentence.
So not the same as the Ascendancy tour.
No.
They did play like maybe 3 songs from that album on this as well. Yeah. I thought it'd be kind of cool if they didn't. But I thought this was a great set. The fact that they did the 20th anniversary earlier in the year and now they're coming back with a completely different set of sort of like the greatest hits, I think is great. I love how Disturbed did that on one show. You got those 2 sets for Disturbed. You got the Sickness and then the greatest hits. Last year, Slipknot just did the self-titled album. Some people really fucking hated that. I thought it was kind of cool, but also, you want those hits. So I do think it's kind of cool that, Trivium's like, hey, we did that once. Now we're going to go out and do a deep dive, not deep dive, but like the greatest hits sort of normal show. So I thought that was really, really cool. Maybe smarter than Disturbed, where you split it up and you have to buy 2 tickets. Mm-hmm. So we ended up buying 2 tickets for the show instead of just 1. Yeah. So, maybe a little smarter there from a business perspective. But
but it costs about the same probably for a third balcony seat.
Yeah.
So.
But yeah, going through the set list, I guess. In Waves, really cool song. So they ended the Ascendancy tour. Strife, finally got to fucking hear that live. I'm so happy to hear that. Strife for me, though, is like their take on Creeping Death, or they're sort of trying to do a song similar to Creeping Death with that sort of, toward the end of the song, everybody going, hey, hey. So I was really, really cool to finally get to see that live in person. And we haven't seen Trivium a lot.
No, I was thinking about it. It's like maybe 4 times?
I was going to say about 4 or 5 times, yeah.
Yeah, 5 times, I think. Were they at Milwaukee Metal Fest?
No, they haven't been at Metal Fest yet.
So maybe 4.
Whatever, but it's... Yeah, I don't know. I can say I finally saw Strife, which I'm very, very happy with. Like I said, one of my favorite songs of theirs. I can't remember at what point. Maybe it was Strife or maybe soon after. My only real complaint, and typically the Rave is awesome. The sound is fucking awesome. Like, it's an awesome venue. I love it. The staff's fucking great. The shows are always fucking great. The sound for this show was kind of shitty. I thought the sound, like, I did not think the sound was good.
Oh.
I think I even looked at you at one point and I was like, this sounds like shit. And you're like, I know.
Oh, I didn't know you were saying that then. Because I never had a thought of it sounded like shit. I thought that they sounded great compared to like when we saw them in Missouri, it was fine. But when we saw them at the Radius, I thought it sounded like shit.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but that was like, what, 3 years ago or something?
Yeah. I don't remember thinking it sounded like shit then. I can't remember that show all that well.
Yeah.
At this point now. I don't think we did an episode on that either. We tried to do an episode and it wasn't that good, or we were fighting too much or some shit. I don't know.
Probably fighting, yeah. More than likely.
In any case, no, interesting. I did think it sounded like shit.
I'm sorry that you thought that way, or you thought that I agreed with you, because I didn't feel that way.
I also didn't have my earplugs, so I don't know if maybe that was playing into it a little bit. But I don't know. To me, it just sounded off. It didn't sound all that great.
Oh. Well, because during Strife, I kind of like pointed at your headphones or your earplugs or AirPods. That's what you had in that night. And I was like, take them out, like, so you can actually hear it. Like, this is the song you wanted to hear. Like, take out your headphones so you can hear it.
No, but you need to have ear production. So
No,
I
you
did
gotta
end
hear
up
the
using my
songs.
AirPods, and maybe that was part of it. Like I had my AirPods in, and the battery had died, so it was just getting muffled. But halfway through the set, I ended up taking them out and just not having any sort of ear protection. And I did still think it sounded kind of shitty.
Okay.
I don't know why. It didn't sound good. But all right, let me say this. We were over on stage right for most of the show. Toward the end, we went over towards stage left. And I did think it sounded a little bit better over there.
Oh,
So maybe
okay.
it was just our positioning where we were. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Other standouts, the new songs, Bury Me With My Screams and Struck Dead were fucking awesome.
Oh, Bury Me With My Screams is new.
Yeah, it's like the bury me, bury me, bury me.
Yeah, no, I like that song so much. I feel like we've watched it on like YouTube. I just didn't realize it was a new song.
So getting to see those live was fucking awesome. Not finally, they just came out. So seeing those new songs.
That's interesting. I really didn't know that was new. Yeah, I like that song a lot. So
The Heart From Your Hate was awesome to hear. Again, that was missing from the last tour.
yeah,
The last Ascendancy
well, yeah,
show.
there was a lot of stuff missing from that.
Yeah, because I mean, obviously, there's gonna be stuff missing, and then Until the World Goes Cold. So like, the big songs that I really enjoy for Trivium, getting to see those live was fucking awesome. Well,
Yeah.
getting to hear them again was fucking awesome.
Yeah, I think that's what I enjoyed out of this show more than the previous show in April that we saw, is hearing the songs that I know. Where on the last album, I don't know the album, so
Yeah, I don't listen to that album that much either.
It's
if
like I don't know
really
the
ever.
songs.
So
Yeah.
I don't know the songs all that well. These sort of greatest hits, as we've been calling
Yeah.
them, I'm more familiar with them and listen to them more often.
yeah, I know you keep saying greatest hits, but a lot of these songs is what YouTube plays, and that's normally when we listen to Trivium, is those late nights where we put YouTube on and then we just let the algorithm do its thing.
Yeah.
And generally it's a lot of these songs that are on YouTube, or like the YouTube plays. So, which is where I've heard Bury Me in My Screams, and I didn't realize that was new.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Huh. But yeah, otherwise a pretty standard set for Trivium based on the past shows we've seen of theirs, I would say, outside of Strife being in there. But other than that, pretty standard for what songs you would expect to hear.
So we did an episode recently. I think it came out of the Lorna Shore show.
The headlining expectations.
Headlining expectations. So what did you think about them playing for an hour and 19 minutes or an hour and 20 minutes?
It felt like a proper show to me. Like I think during that 666 you're talking about, I think I said an hour 20 is like my baseline.
Oh, okay.
I think that's where I start with like,
Okay.
this is how long a headlining set should be.
Lorna Shore playing for an hour and 20 minutes was normal.
Yes, but before getting to their encore, it was only like 40 minutes. The fact that they played 4 20-minute songs, that helps pad the time a little bit.
Yeah.
But it's a 14 tracks. 16, I think, is like what I consider like a standard headlining slot. Obviously, that shuffles and changes based on set length and whatnot, or song length and whatnot. So yeah, I don't know. It felt good to me. It felt like a proper set.
Yeah. No, I just was kind of trying to make a joke out of it because they only played 14 songs, and you're like, 16 to 17 songs is about normal for an hour and a half set, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, yeah.
So I was just
I get you. After the show, though, we did walk back to the hotel. On the way out, I think we were the last show of the night. I don't think any other shows were going on at that time.
Okay.
At least I didn't hear music as we were walking out.
Oh, that's true. I didn't either. But we could just kind of walk straight out, like
But I still would have expected to hear something.
yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, maybe we were, because it was 11 o'clock. Maybe other shows got over at like 10, like if they only had a couple bands or something.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Which is why when you said they staggered it 30 minutes after for like in between every show, I was like, shit, for real? Like, I'm pretty sure we weren't the last one to start.
So I looked at the Instagram for Rave the next day, and they shared all the bands, and I can't remember, what did I say? There was like 14 bands?
I was going to say 12, I thought
12
you said.
bands? Okay. I guess that would be 3 per stage.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know the bands that were on the bar stage, but just think about bar bands. Like generally they play for 20 minutes, 30 minutes, like if there's openers, 20 minutes, and then 40 minutes maybe for a headliner. So maybe it did get over at 10:30 or whatever.
And you're thinking that bar stage is probably a band, more than likely a newer band.
Yeah.
So they don't have a whole lot of material necessarily.
Yeah, potentially.
Maybe one album out there or something that they're, touring on.
Yeah.
It could have been set changeovers or whatnot, but also I didn't see people like wandering the halls or anything. So.
Oh, I saw, not wandering the halls, but right before the Heart From Your Hate, I was kind of walking around by the bar, by the stairs, and still in the ballroom, but just walking around. And I remember looking out the window, and there was people leaving.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, I just was like, oh, people are leaving, sort of thing. So
yeah. All in all, a super fun time.
it was. I was glad to see a Trivium show like this.
Yeah, same. I'm glad we saw the Ascendancy tour earlier in the year. That was fun. But yeah, I'm glad we got to see a proper Trivium show. Wasn't feeling other bands, but again, I love Jinjer and Heriot seemed cool to me, but whatever reason, I don't know why. But all in all, a fun time up in Milwaukee. Really good show. The Rave was fucking awesome. Let's hopefully keep seeing shows at the Rave.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll see you at the next Rave show.
Bye.